So here's a question for everybody. Can anybody tell me a scenario in the next few years leading up to the new election where we don't have mass violence and civil unrest? You know, obviously it's a topic that's been quite rife in the comment section. You know, it's great to see people debating. But yeah, it's obviously something that is consistently a topic, and it's always on the tips of everybody's tongues, and you see it all with the YouTube. I mean, obviously these YouTubers, they put civil unrest, civil war as like a way to gain money. I get that, but yeah, like the legit side of it, for me personally, I don't see a scenario where we don't have some kind of civil unrest. Let's take, for example, obviously I'm not going to shy away from it. People know where my political allegiance lie. Let's say, for example, the Reform Party folds and Restore Britain get in, which is obviously our best, let's be honest, it's our best scenario. These people ain't just going to sit there and take it. That's the reality of it. You know, my very, very first video that I did, and it was the reason why, I'll be honest with you, the reason why I started the video up, because I just looked at it and I was like, no, this is just crazy. When these people start to see our traction going forward, when they start to see that we want them out, when we start seeing mass deportations, they ain't going to just sit there and say, yeah, okay, I'll go. They are going to fight, they are going to kill, they are going to maim, and we need to be prepared for it. That's the reality of it. And the police ain't going to do shit. They're not. People can turn around and have faith in the police, faith in the military. I'm sorry, you know, like, there's a growing number of people in the police force that are just pieces of human garbage. That's the reality of it. I know it's sad to say it, you know, but we can't rely on them. I mean, when also, and I know it's going to sound really harsh, but when they start pairing females with males and you're seeing male police officers struggling to even get a grip of anything, you know, there's no point in even trusting the police with this one. That's the reality of it. And the army, they're too stretched. You know, you can't mobilise it unless you've got, you know, your children or your brothers or whatever else in the area. You ain't going to get much, you know. There's not really much you can get from them. So we're only going to be able to rely on each other and rely on ourselves, because these people are going to go out in public and do what they've been consistently doing. But not just that, you'll have people from the left starting riots, because people can turn around and think otherwise, but the reality of it is that people on the left have started to become very violent. That's just how it is. Like, we can look at it any other way. Look at every single protest that's happened, apart from where they're going to be outnumbered. They are resorting to violence. They are masking up. They are trying to slash people with knives. They are trying to gang up on people. That's just how it's going to be. So these people are going to take to the streets because of their noble cause, as they see it, you know, and they are going to take to the streets and they're going to commit violence. So again, it's down to us to get into groups and sort that out. So yeah, that's the best scenario for us. The worst scenario for us is we get a majority decision with the people that we voted for, but we don't get a majority. So then all the other parties band together and make some weak coalition just to block us. We aren't going to take that. If we as a people voted overwhelmingly for a change and for a party, but yet they turn around and say the first past the post system isn't going to work for us on this occasion because all these other MPs are going to just band together to block us out, we would have to make a stand. We wouldn't be able to accept that. You know, we are literally logging into our social media, we are turning on the TV to these mass killings, mass rapes daily. You know, they are doing this to our people, our neighbours, our family. We can't stand here and I personally don't think we can last until 2029, you know. So that's the sad reality of it. So yeah, they're the two scenarios, and anything in between is just going to lead to exactly the same. You know, we have got to a point where, unfortunately, they have left us with a world that we will not be able to live in. So all we can do is push back. And we have got to a point where our tolerance has just become completely non-existent now, you know, and that's the way we should take it. We should be a zero tolerance thing, and they aren't going to want to accept that, you know. So it's definitely a struggle, you know, and people have got to understand. See, you've got to start making plans. You've got to start getting fit. A lot of people, some people, they can't even lift their own bloody body weight up. If you can't do a pull-up, if you can't punch a bag with some force, you just need to start getting fit, because this is going to be at your doorstep whether you like it or not. You know, start lifting weights, start punching the bag, start going for a jog, get yourself fit. If you can't look after yourself, how are you supposed to protect your family? Unfortunately, violence is coming for you whether you like it or not, unless somebody can give me some magical scenario where everything's going to be all right. So yeah, make your plans, get yourself organized, or, you know, accept what's coming to you, because it will. This is the reality of it. Prove me wrong. I want to be proved wrong. I want to see a way out of this, but I've looked at it, I've studied it, I've looked at every single video of these protests. I've literally looked at all the forums online. I've joined groups, you know, just to see what they are. I mean, obviously, as soon as I get found out, I get booted out, but they're all the same. It's all the same. We have unfortunately created a world, and the politicians have done this. Hopefully one day we'll be able to hold them to account. But we cannot live in a world that they want to create, and they can't live in the world that we want to create. So what do we do?